Hi everyone, welcome to Mturk Guide. I realized that if you've been following along at the channel, I've essentially just uploaded things at random. The reasoning behind that is there is none. Basically, I had a bunch of webcasts on my PC from various times that I had tried to help others that I know that are working in the Mturk community, and then others I just did on a whim because I happen to have the applicable hits in my queue and figured, hey, now's a good a time I need to do a webcast. But my intention is to start from the beginning. So if you are just joining and you don't know what mturk is, you don't know if it's right for you, can you do it? Do I have the right equipment? My intention is to go through most of that here. And if you have any questions that are left unaddressed after, please comment and ask those questions so that I can address them in an upcoming webcast. So here we are. What is it? So Mturk is short for Mechanical Turk, and it's owned and operated by Amazon.com. So you're going to see a lot of crossover, and you'll see a lot of branding that's Amazon-ish. It's because it's owned by Amazon. And essentially, Mturk offers remote work in the form of microtasks, which offer equitable size payments for that work. So microtasks, micropayment. Don't let the micropayments throw you off. Now, I'm not here to tell you that I can make you a millionaire using Mturk because I would be lying. I can't, but I can help you, make enough money to pay for, a vacation after saving for a few months. I can help you make enough money to buy a new computer, to, have those extra things you want to do with your family. Or if you need that extra money for groceries and those necessities, I can help. I can help get you there. But I'm not going to lie. This is not going to make you rich. But if you balance time, put in with the reward you're getting, and you work your way through it properly, you can make. I make about 200 to 250 on average a week. And depending on what's going on in that particular week, I could work anywhere from a couple hours to maybe 20. It really depends. I try to make the most of my time, but when I first started, I wasn't making a good hourly wage, but that's because I didn't have the information that I'm trying to lay out for all of you. So hopefully you'll be a little more efficient in your opening days than I was. So again, the work is 100% remote. You can go to work in your bunny slippers, in your boxer shorts, whatever your thing is. As with many online jobs, you choose when and where you work and for how long. So, it's a double-edged sword. It's got its ups, it's got its downs. Sometimes there's work available, sometimes there's not. But, you have to figure out what's right for you. I do think that this is good for stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads. People prefer to stay home, homebodies, people who are on short-term or long-term disability, any number of people, that spend a good amount of time at home and can be close to a PC. And as I'll talk about in other webcasts, with the automated tools that I'll introduce to you, you can monitor and accept hits, and just leave your volume up, and you can come over and address those hits as they come into your queue. So it's not, trust me, although it may appear, it's not all about sitting there and just hoping that something, you can click on something and grab it. There's tools out there to help you. It's just they're not advertised by Amazon. So the requesters mainly include, corporations, big corporations, business owners, small business owners, and educational research programs, universities. You'll see. I'll talk about that a little bit more. But some of the big names you'll see offering work include Amazon. They have a branch of their company called A9 that's doing some sort of cataloging of images or something. So there's a lot of image categorization for them. Google requesters are typically known to be fairly good paying hits. And Zazzle, if you've ever seen the Zazzle.com website where you can get all sorts of custom, mugs and mouse pads and stamps and cards and all that. So you'll see Zazzle pops up once in a while as well. Okay, so what kind of tasks would I be completing if I joined Mturk? There's a variety. Receipt transcription has gained a lot of popularity because there are some apps like Ibotta, Receipt Hog, Checkout 51 are becoming very mainstream for those that are coupon clipping and saving. So if you haven't joined those, I believe I'll put the links in the description. Ibotta is a particularly good one. I think I made like $80 in 3 months on Ibotta. So definitely check those out if saving is something you're into. Other transcription tasks, there's medical forms, just random forms like veterinary forms or college forms, education, meaning, surveys for universities, and then one-off projects from various requesters. There's all sorts of things. You would not believe the amount of things that people study and look at and categorize. Mturk tends to be a nice platform to allow them to do that on the fly. And if they're looking for a varied demographic, they can typically find that on Mturk. Again, categorization is a big one. Anything you can imagine, and including but not limited to videos, wedding photos, pictures of seeds, aerial photos, much more. There's so many I can't even tell you. Surveys from universities and business asking almost endless questions about us and what we think, act, and behave, and how we behave. So again, surveys, I cannot, nor should anybody who is doing YouTube videos about Mturk ever disclose any survey content. So as much as you'll see me doing webcasts about this badge or that badge, and I may discuss good universities or individuals that put out survey content, I will never discuss the actual survey content, and nor should anybody who's using the platform. So just that disclaimer right there. What do you need to get started? You do need a computer, PC, Mac, Windows, PC, or Chromebook. You can use tablets and phones. I don't tend to go into a lot of the tablets and phone help because it's the smaller part of the population is using those, but I do tend to assume that people have at least a laptop. And so, yeah, if you're, strapped for cash and an investment in a computer or a laptop is not going to be economical, you can get a Chromebook for about $175 and $200. I did that. It did limit some of the hits I could do. Only maybe I think I've come across 3 that I couldn't do being on a Chromebook, and I've done over 50,000 of them. So it's a good economical alternative if you need to invest in a computer. I'll put some links in the description of Chromebooks that I've either tested or used over time that I like. Right now I have a Lenovo. It's a 100S. It works great. I paid $170 for it on Amazon, free 2-day shipping with Prime. It's been great for me. And frankly, if something happens to it, I can make that money back in a week that I would need to replace it. So I'm not as worried about it. You do need a modern browser. I'll be honest, I know Edge from Microsoft is gaining popularity, or some people like it. I don't want to give it too much credit. I've yet to use it, but Chrome or Firefox is what you're normally going to see requesters asking you to use. Chrome more often than Firefox. I do a lot in Chrome, so you will see me using Chrome, and I will try to make sure that I make allowances for Firefox and explaining how to use scripts and things like that in Firefox. And obviously you need time. You need to dedicate some time to finding and completing tasks, but you can pick when you do that. But you do have to build up your qualifications through doing good tasks in the beginning and keeping a good approval percentage, so that you can qualify for better stuff. So you do have to put in some time. I mean, nothing comes for free, right? How will you get paid? Your payment specifically will depend on your country location. US workers can take payment in Amazon gift cards, which go basically directly into your Amazon account, or you can transfer funds to your bank or prepaid card Visa via the Amazon payments, which you'll sign up for when you sign up for the Mturk account. OUS workers, except for India, can transfer their earnings to an Amazon.com account. Again, it's an automatic transfer to your gift card balance. India workers may be able to transfer earnings to a bank. Some will only be able to transfer to the Amazon.com uh, gift card balance again. What you can do depends on when you signed up. So I can't specify, when, if you signed up at a certain time, when that cut was. But right now I know that some folks from India are able to route their payments to their bank account and others aren't. So that's just the way it is. I can't speak for Amazon. I'm just telling the facts. US workers, you must give Amazon payments your social security number and address information so they can verify your identity. Just as this is necessary with in-person employment, it's necessary with Mturk. And if you are uncomfortable with that, I mean, face it, Amazon knows a lot about you. If you've ever ordered anything from them, they probably already have your credit card number or your address, all that good stuff. But the reason that they need social security numbers is because of the Patriot Act, to prevent funds being filtered to terrorism. They have to be able to track funds. So it's a necessary evil. It is what it is. Amazon has, I think, for a big corporation, they have the appropriate record retention and security in place. So if that bothers you and you don't want to do it, unfortunately, you simply can't use the platform. So, and if you're looking for at-home work, you're almost always going to have to give that if it's a legitimate job. So you might have to think about, negotiating that point, but just a little advice from me. U.S. workers can open an Amex server Bluebird card to have a dedicated account for earnings. I mean, I've heard people say everything like, "Oh, is Amazon going to go in my account and take all my money?" I doubt that. But if you're really worried about it, you can open up a separate prepaid debit card and route all your earnings there. You can go to Walmart and put money on that card in person, and you can go to specific ATMs and have fee-free withdrawal. So it's just an option if it does bother you going to your main bank account. And for those that don't have the option to turn their earnings into cash, Amazon, you can use a site called Purse to, I don't want to go into too much here, but I'll put the link in the description. But if you want to turn your funds into Bitcoin, and then you could turn your Bitcoin into cash, you can sign up over there. So that's a whole nother topic in of itself, which if people are interested, I will certainly do a webcast on, but it's not really germane to what we're talking about here. So how can you sign up if you're still interested? And I hope you are. Go ahead and navigate to www.mturk.com. And you want to, on the upper right-hand corner, go ahead and sign up as a worker. Note that if you currently have an Amazon US shopping account, you can reuse that login instead of signing up for a separate account. When you go in, it'll say, "Oh, do you have a current account?" You can go ahead and put in your Amazon login if you're okay with linking those accounts. And I will talk later about the implications of that. It's not anything overly nefarious, but the linkage does exist, and you should always be aware of that. Okay, so when you sign up, there'll be the participation agreement, which is the legalese. What am I agreeing to? Am I giving my firstborn? What am I doing here? This summary that I'm providing you is not intended to replace your reading of the policy. If you sign that you agree to it, then you agree to it. I'm just giving you the highlights that I think are important and that were important to me when I read it. But basically, that you agree to provide accurate information regarding yourself and your location. You agree to secure your account, not allow others to use your account. If somebody in your household wants to get an Mturk account of their own, they should just sign up for it on their own. Understand that you are doing work for hire. You're not an employee of the requester that you're working for, nor of Amazon. You are agreeing to pay applicable taxes as required by local federal laws. You will not get some people ask if you get a W-2, which you wouldn't because you're not a W-2 worker, but you will get no forms from Amazon around your earnings unless you make over a certain amount. I've heard that the threshold is $20,000 for the year, but don't quote me on that because I haven't made that much yet. You will have a tool in the system to keep track of your earnings, so you know when tax time comes what you need to claim. But really, all I can say about taxes is consult a professional and figure out what you need to put aside if you need to be paying quarterly, things of that nature. I'm not going to go into that here, but please do. Please remember that it's taxable. Everything is taxable. But again, just consult your tax professional. And then I put etc. because it's a big agreement and there's a lot of things covered, but that's the highlights. I honestly don't think there's anything overly concerning in the participation agreement. It's geared both towards you as the worker and the requester, so there's a lot of back and forth that some doesn't apply to those signing up only as workers. Okay, you signed up. That's great. Now what? You've signed up, you've provided your information. One of three things will happen. You'll get an email welcoming you, telling you to start. If you have this, go on to the next module in my series, and I'll tell you how to get started, what limitations you have at the beginning, what you need to be careful of, how to get your scripts going. And we'll talk about all that over there. Secondly, you may receive an email from Amazon telling you you're not eligible to participate at this time. Amazon has a process for approving and declining accounts, and it's proprietary. They won't tell you why they've declined you, but often they will say, we'll hold on to your application and we'll contact you in the future if we open up the pool more. It has happened just recently in the past couple months. A lot of international workers who had previously applied were accepted into the program. So it does happen. They do go back and review the applications, but they will not give you a reason. The third option is you might receive an email saying that extra information is needed to process your application. They'll give you a fax number or a phone number, and you'll most likely need to verify your identity in some way. Sometimes it's a license or a utility bill, something of that nature. So that's what you'll need to do in order to get through that process. And to clarify, you won't be able to work on the platform until your account is approved. So you need to do that. And they'll also guide you through the Amazon payments sign up if you need to do that. So US workers will always need the Amazon payments accounts. OUS workers may or may not, depends on location again. So can't speak for every situation. So what's next? Before you start on any tax reviews in the next webcast, which is the series, is number 2, you still have a lot to learn. So things that I'm going to teach you if you stick with the series, how to determine which requesters to work for and which to avoid, and how to do that very quickly. You don't want to get too bogged down in the reading and the searching. I mean, you want to be as efficient as possible. I can show you how to change your dashboard to allow you to see color coding of requesters, how to read the reviews on them. This is all functionality that's not germane to Amazon's platform. They don't have it in the platform right now. So you do need these scripts. You do need this whole setup to get that information. And I will note that Amazon has put out that they're going to be improving and changing. As they improve and change, I will be generating webcasts that deal with those improvements and changes. So, I'm putting this out now because it's as good a time as any. If I waited for this system to be perfect, I would never put it out there. So it's just going to have to roll with those punches as far as Amazon's improvement of the system. I will teach you how to transfer your money. Many times I've been approached if I transferred my money, from my Mturk account to Amazon Payments and it's still not in my bank account. Well, it's because that's not the end of it. There's other steps you need to take. So if you want your money fast, definitely read on in the series. How to find your tasks quickly, again, about efficiency. how to auto accept tasks, again, so that, if you want to go off and play with your kids or go make dinner, clean, run a quick errand, and you want to leave your computer on and auto accept some hits that you like to do that have a long enough timer. I definitely would suggest that as a good use of time, but you have to learn how to set up one of two tools, how to do that. And again, even if you're not techie, I can walk you through it, but you definitely, to be efficient in the platform, you need to use it. How to leave feedback on requesters you have worked with. I mean, that's part of being part of the community, is leaving the feedback, good, neutral or negative. That's how we grow as a community, and how we make good choices about who we want to work for, and who respects our time and efforts. How to report TOS, or terms of service violations. There are a bunch of things that requesters are not allowed to do or ask of us, and so we have the right to go ahead and report those if we see them. So I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of what is a TOS violation. How to qualify for better hits. Of course, this is a combination of giving information up front, and then building your profile and building your numbers. And that's something I need to walk everybody through so that they understand that what happens to a lot of people is they get on, they get excited, they start, doing receipt transcription or whatever, and then maybe they don't read the directions close enough, or they anything could happen really. They miss something, they get a rejection, they've only got a few hits, and all of a sudden that rejection tanks their approval rating, which means they can't get certain hits, and it's a little bit of a mess. So you want to make sure you're keeping your pristine rating as long as you possibly can. So don't dive in without doing a little research first. And then how to contact requesters. You want to be able to open up that dialogue with requesters when necessary. If you do find yourself on the receiving end of what you feel to be a wrong rejection, you want to be able to open those lines of communication, and it's not as simple as one would think. So, my parting words: don't try to do this alone, please. This information is free. I'm not asking anything of you except to come along for the ride and give feedback, ask questions, tell me what your experience is, and that's all I'm asking in return for. You do need to maintain a good approval rating in order to qualify for better, higher pay hits or tasks. If you make mistakes in the beginning, it can take thousands upon thousands of tasks to get back to even. So please take my free advice and help me help you, if you will. So please subscribe, like, comment, and share. I look forward to this journey, and I'm hoping to get to know some of you out there that are looking forward to taking advantage of a true work from home opportunity. It's not perfect. It certainly needs improvement, but the money is there to be made. Somebody should be making it. So here we go. It's going to be an interesting ride. I can promise you that. And I hope everybody is willing and able to participate in this process with me. So thank you. Please head on to the next part of the web series. It should be posted momentarily, and check out the links below that I discussed throughout this webcast. And thanks for joining.